Hey guys, welcome back. So in the last part I showed you that I wanted to go for the Alhambra. So actually at this point I changed my mind and I went for education as a first tech and then for acoustics. Well, actually education will boost your research, and this is the biggest problem. So the hardest part is that you can stay more progressed as your enemies, so they don't get all the world wonders. So you basically have to be the first one to get the good world wonders. And one of the best world wonders is the Sistine Chapel from acoustics. It gives 25% culture in every city, so it's actually great. So as I said, I changed my mind. Now here you see Dido. She finally gives me some good offers for my stuff, and since no one invaded me and I didn't have any military conflicts, I really could use this time to build up my cities, build up my economy, push my technologies, my research, and just expand. I really could focus on expanding. And now here you see that it's like 20 turns now forward. You see I created another settler, and actually I wanted to put the settler on this little land tongue you see here, one field above the settler. Now the problem about this was that it was too close to the city-state. Actually I miscounted, you have to be 4 fields away, so now I had to relocate. Actually this would have been a perfect spot, since it is very protected. There is like no way anyone can attack this city. In general, all my cities at the moment are well protected. By this I mean they are surrounded by mountains or lakes, so they are pretty much safe. The only city you could attack is my capital, Warsaw, and it is already pretty strong, so in my opinion at this point I can most probably defend it. And all these smaller cities which are very vulnerable, they are pretty protected. So now, but since I had to relocate, I tried to find a new spot. And as you can see here, I am interested in the luxuries at the top of the map, but actually I don't really like tundra. And aside from the tundra, like I just mentioned, there would be no protection, and the Greek enemy, he still didn't make peace with me, and he most probably has a huge army already, and if I would place a city there, the Greek one could just take my city within a couple of turns. So don't get fooled by the scoreboard. In this level of difficulty the enemies have huge armies, so I'm really lucky that they didn't invade me yet. I really think I benefit from my early actions where I attacked the Greek guy. But if we would compare my army, which is basically 2 units, my 2 first units, versus his army would probably like tenfold or even more or even bigger. Anyways, while they have the military advantage, I have the technological advantage, and as you've seen, I just entered the medieval era, and as a reward, since I am Polish, I get a free cultural upgrade, and I take free cultural buildings, so this doubles my culture output. And of course, so a couple of turns forward, the civilization of Arabia introduced itself to myself, and it's really crazy. You see how powerful they are. He has 63 gold per turn, so this is 6 times the amount I have currently. I have 11 gold per turn, and actually I was only using all my gold for pushing my economy and my city growth. I didn't spend anything on units, so still he has 6 times the income than I do at the moment. Now maybe you remember the settler I was talking about before. Maybe you remember that I couldn't place him at the position I wanted to place him. Now I found a new spot, but I had to put him on a bison field because I really wanted to have him close to the lake so that the areas which the city can be attacked are pretty small. And actually the spot turned out to be really great because I get a new luxury resource, I get some pelts, you see this little fox tile. So my plans of expanding fast were coming along nicely. Maybe you have noticed it, but I skipped really a lot of turns, but the turns, they were really uneventful. I started a new world wonder, the Shitsun Itsu. I hope it's somehow pronounced like that. I have to apologize. English is not my native tongue. It's also a very nice world wonder. It gives a lot of free happiness and it also increases the duration of golden ages. So really good world wonder. Not one of the best I would say, but still very good. But actually something which was a bit annoying to me now was that the city-states kept attacking me because they were aligned to Alexander, who was still in war with me and who wouldn't forgive me for crushing his scouts in the early game. Now, unlike real civilizations, the military power of city-states is basically a joke and you can easily protect yourself just by using your in-city defenses. But I turned this annoyance into an advantage because, as I told you in one of my earlier videos, you cannot exceed 2 experience upgrades by killing barbarians. So basically my 2 units, my warrior and my archer, they only had 2 levels of experience, 2 upgrades. So I built another archer and now I started to just attacking all those units and also attacking the city-states themselves just to push the experience of my units. And you might think, so, oh, isn't this too much of an effort? And I would say no, because especially the experience upgrades for the archers become extremely powerful. If you have, I think, 4 experience upgrades, you get 1 additional range, and it's a really big difference if you can shoot over 2 fields or over 3 fields. So while the enemies will always have the larger army, I mean in this level of difficulty they will always have the larger army, I really try to focus on a small army with a high level of experience, which a lot of special abilities, so I hope with that I can beat my enemies. And like I said, at the moment there are no enemies I can fight aside from the city-states. So, and since the city-states don't really pose a big threat to me, actually their aggression comes in very handy and I'm happy to use them as my training dummies. So while the training of my units in the northeast of my kingdom was going very well, I started the construction of 2 new world wonders, the Borobudur in Warsaw. It is a world wonder, gives a bit of religion, and if you finish it you get a great profit. Actually I really don't need a great profit, but I take what I get. And I also started a construction of the Hagia Sophia in Krakow. And this is not too bad, since if you complete this world wonder you get 3 free missionaries, and since my kingdom is growing in a fast pace I can spread my religion with the help of those missionaries to all my little cities, and maybe also to some city-states surrounding my kingdom. So some turns have passed, and you see, like I said before, what I'm doing is that I move all my units close to the city-state of Florence. This even includes my warrior unit, and I just let him stand around close to the city. I let the city attack him. I heal him up, and I repeat. He gains experience when getting attacked, as you just saw by the floating number. And this is really a long process, but eventually, after a while, the units will get some level ups, and like I said before, get some really great special abilities. Within this phase of the game where I basically had no big problems, I at first didn't realize, but the Greek guy Alexander, he sneaked into my area and settled forward and created a city. He actually created a city at a position where I planned on doing a new city, because now he blocked, I think, 3 luxury resources. So he really took some space I needed for expansion. Now if you look into my area, I only have one spot left where I can expand, which is this big field under the desert to the left. And I think after that it's really hard to find really a spot within my protected area. So at this point I didn't exactly know where to go next with my settlers after the settler I just mentioned. So I think the area to the right is the most promising area to find new and good ground, and aside from that I really think the only opportunity to expand is war, but hopefully I will find some more nice area on the right of Florence. As the enemies have those huge advantages, it is really mandatory that you keep expanding all the time, so turtling is not an option. If I would stop expanding and turtle, I would definitively lose. So I really have to hope to find some more area, and if I don't find it, war would be a really hard thing to do. I mean, an option would be to attack the city-states. I could probably invade them. At the moment not possible for me, but with some more units maybe. But aside from that, I would be pretty much stuck with the cities I have at the moment. Yeah, because like I said, war would be extremely hard, and attacking other civilizations. Even the Greek guy with his low points, I think at the moment he would crush me if I would start a war with him. So what you see here now is my power city, my Petra city, finishing the Hagia Sophia, and like I said, it's pretty nice. I get 3 missionaries, and since I have a lot of new and small cities, I can spread my religion, because aside from my 2 main cities, none other of my small villages has religion. So actually pretty good. Aside from that, like I said, you may never stop expanding, so I already have the new settler, and I send it to the left of the map. So basically this is the last remaining spot within my little peninsula, and the spot is once again pretty decent, because it has, I think, 3 luxury tiles and 1 iron tile. Not a lot of fields with apples. I hope the city will get enough nutrition, but should be alright. So once again, pretty decent spot to creating a new city. Now, as you maybe just saw, after building the Hagia Sophia, I also had another world wonder I could have possibly built, which is Angkor Wat. But in my opinion, Angkor Wat is such a weak world wonder, and it takes so long to construct, that it's not really worth to build it. So instead of creating Angkor Wat, I just select a university, and I think it's more worth than this weak world wonder. Probably other people won't be the same opinion as me, but I think Angkor Wat is really a waste of time. Fast forward, I told you that I had interest in this area close to the desert, so I sent down a settler, But it turned out that, of course, surprise surprise, the spot was taken by a barbarian camp, so I had to send an archer as well, and to clear the camp, but actually not a big problem. On the bottom right you also see that I finished the Borobudur, but it's such a minor world wonder that there is basically not a lot to talk about. I think next I started the construction of a university, and in comparison to the Borobudur, the university actually has some value, because every factor pushing my research in my capital and also my Petra city is increasing and snowballing my total research, so university is pretty important for me at this point, or in general. So back to the action. As you see here, I clear the barbarian camp, and actually I waited like 10 more turns before creating the city, which I am doing right now, because if you look at my happiness of my kingdom, then you see now I turned unhappy, so I'm very close to getting some new luxury resources, so I didn't want to have an unhappy civilization for a lot of turns. So like I said, I waited until I was sure that the unhappiness would not stay for a long time. What you also just saw was that one of the missionaries I got due to the Hagia Sophia was converting this city instantly to Catholicism, and if you look around then you see that each of my cities now has Catholicism, and also the city-states surrounding my little area here. So the Hagia Sophia helped me here really quite a bit. One thing I cut out of the video because it was just a mini invasion was that my little channel city at the bottom of the map was attacked by 2 Greek ships. So that's not what I consider as a huge invasion. So I just sent an archer, and together with the city fortifications, with the city weapons, I just could easily defend this little attack. But still, it's funny to see that the Greek guy throughout all those years didn't forgive me for killing his scouts, so he's really having a grudge against me. But on a more serious note, this also shows that he has really no respect for me. So in terms of this game, this means he doesn't respect my military. So at the moment I have about, I think, 3 or 4 units, but this means his military is much higher. And once again, if you look into the leaderboard, I'm currently at the 1st rank, but I'm only that high because I have a lot of world wonders. But if you would compare my military to his military, like I said a lot of times, his military should be a lot higher. If it wasn't that case, then he would just surrender to me and maybe give me all his cities. The artificial intelligence tends to do that, so if they sign a peace treaty, they sometimes also give you some cities. That's actually great if that happens. But he still doesn't respect me, he doesn't think I'm strong, so I'm looking forward to his first invasion, which will, I'm pretty sure will come very soon, especially since he settled forward with the little city of Knossos you just saw there. So it's just a question of time when his attack will start. Some time passed by and finally I entered a new era. I entered the era of, I think, Renaissance, and this is based on the new technology of acoustics, and finally I'm capable of building the Sistine Chapel. So, like I said before, similar to the great world wonders like the Great Library or the Petra, I think this is also one of the core world wonders, and it's really important to get it. So I'm not sure if I will get it. I just hope at this point that I can do it, because the AI got more competitive. By this I mean they start stealing more and more other of the great world wonders like the Alhambra, which I actually planned on getting before. But as you saw, what I just did, I also got a spy, and I sent it, I think, to Arabia. And now I'm at the technology tree, and I look out for what I want to do next. And there are some different interesting choices. I could try to go deeper into research. But I think what I decided to do here was that I want to go, let's call it, straight for industrialization, because building factories is a really crucial point in this game. Because if you build, I think, 3 factories, then you can you create a new social policy. You can choose, for instance, communism or autocracy. So basically the factories pinpoint the start of a new era. And as you see here, I will have to research 13 technologies until I get industrialization, but it's such an important technology that I already decided I will go down this route. As I told you before, the Greek guy made some aggressive effort at my channel city, so he attacked it with 2 ships, but now he got a bit more aggressive, and he put all his courage into a great attack, and he sent 1 land unit to my capital. Of course, this is just a joke, but basically what he did was that he scouted my area, and at first I thought, oh my god, now he's coming, but it was just, so to say, the tip of the iceberg. Of course, the 1 unit I could clear easily. Now, more important at this point is that to the right, I told you that I wanted to scout the area, and I was hoping that I would at least find a little bit of good area. And actually I found some great area, some additional luxury tiles, I think even 1 luxury I didn't have before. And so I sent another settler and created another city. But I think now I really don't have any more area to go, so the next cities I will have to get are most probably city-states, or I have to conquer cities. Usually I don't want to do that early. I want to wait for the new social policies, because if you conquer a city, you have to build a special building, so that the conquered cities stay calm. And if you have a specific social policy, you get this building for free, and else you have to pay like 4 gold. I mean, it's not the world, but still, if you conquer like 3 or 4 cities, it accumulates. So I really prefer to start the warmonger phase a bit later in the game. Also, I think currently the units are not really suited to siege and to attack. So if you really want to conquer a city of another civilization, you have to sacrifice a lot, and you have to bring a lot of units, and you will definitively lose some units. So the first point in the game where you can really take cities without losing a lot or even without losing anything, is when you have artillery. As soon as you have artillery, you can pretty much take any city, because the artillery can shoot 3 fields, um, while the cities themselves can only shoot 2 fields. So you can just station them outside of the shooting range of the cities, and if you protect your artillery, the artillery can bombard the cities, weaken the defense, and then you can just take it with a full soldier. So as we were joking about the Greek guy Alexander the Great, basically all the game, as you can see in the north of my capital, he's piling up some units, and I can tell you this is the beginning of a really big invasion. And I would say we make a cut here, and this is the end of this part, and I will show you the invasion within the next video. So I hope you stay tuned.